Welcome to our weather update live here for you on WFMY Plus, streaming on your smart TV. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Megan Maleris, and we have live team coverage as we begin to thaw out after our first measurable snowfall in several years. We have team coverage looking at the roads in both Guilford and Forsyth counties and a look at some sledding, all the fun happening on this Saturday. But first, let's start with Christian. When are we going to get above freezing to melt some of this?
Well, we're still below freezing right now here at 10 o'clock, but over the next hour, I do think we're going to start to come up above that freezing mark. I'll tell you one thing, the sunshine is really helping to melt some things away. I can just look out at the cars in the parking lot and you see that even though we're below freezing, that sunshine is melting the ice, especially off the cars and such. I want to show you some of these folks who really were big winners in our winter event last night, early this morning. This was from last night. Evan Dorsett sent me this picture just before midnight, and he had a little over 5 inches of snow up in Mount Airy. Now, this is not an exhaustive list or an official list, but these are some of the totals that we've collected over the last 12 hours or so. Look at Mount Airy. Again, folks north and west of the Triad up along the Virginia border, obviously the big winners in this system, as to be expected. A little over 5 inches there in Mount Airy. Toast, pretty close to Mount Airy, had about 4.5 inches. 4 in Mayodan, Winston-Salem with 2.5. Greensboro, officially out of the airport at PTI, picked up just a little over 2 inches of snow. Randleman, a little further to the south again, south of 85 was where all that sleet started mixing in, especially early. Those folks picked up a little more than an inch. Our system is gone, left us with clear skies right now and sunshine across the Piedmont. You'll still see, though, ongoing snow showers up in the North Carolina mountains, and those will continue today as those folks continue to tack onto their snow totals. But our system now is moving offshore, and really the majority of North Carolina is done and clearing out. Here's what it looks like in the mountains, by the way. This is a live look at Blowing Rock right now. You can see the snow, of course, piling up. The roads, of course, still in bad shape there as well. And same kind of story even down the mountain just a bit as you take a live look in downtown Boone. These folks are definitely experiencing a typical Boone day. Meanwhile, up on the ski mountain, if you can make it there, it's really good ski conditions up there. Fresh snow continuing to fall there as we look up in the mountains this morning. Back here across the Piedmont, our Winston-Salem camera is finally starting to thaw out. It was covered up in ice all morning long and just a little while ago. Again, that sun really helping to melt some of that ice away, and really hardly a cloud in the sky right now as you look across the Piedmont. We'll keep that around for the afternoon, a partly sunny to partly cloudy sky, and again, that really will help to start to at least bring the major roadways back into better shape and allow folks to clear those as well. Again, still, if you can, for the next couple hours, stay off the roads just to allow those crews to kind of do their thing and make it better for all of us. Again, like I said, temperature still below freezing for most all of us. 31 Greensboro, 30 Winston-Salem, 30 Reedsville, 30 in Danville. You look up to the north and west, temperatures barely above freezing, but just above there in the foothills and up into the North Carolina mountains as well. As we continue to work our way through our Saturday afternoon, it really is weather-wise a pretty nice day of weather. It is cold though, and it's breezy. Winds will still gust 20 to 25 miles an hour through the afternoon. Those winds do relax a bit as we go into this evening, but it will be a breezy and cold day of weather. Even with full sunshine, I know we're going to melt some things away, but temperatures only climbing into the upper 30s. And with that breeze, feels like temperatures to your body are still going to be in the 20s most all day long. Again, tonight, anything that's water on the roads this afternoon will refreeze into black ice heading into early Sunday morning. I'd still be very wary of side streets and neighborhoods, especially areas that are shaded, as they'll likely have slick spots, not only into Sunday, but also into early next week as well. You'll see the mornings over the next week still don't come up above freezing. However, our weather is pretty quiet, just downright cold as we go into early next week. High temperatures climbing to the mid-40s for Monday for the first time in over a week. I'm not sure we can call that a heat wave, but it is going to be a little bit warmer. And then as we go into Tuesday on and through the rest of the week, high temperatures go back into the 30s.
In an update just a few minutes ago, Greensboro Transit will run public buses today. Greensboro Transit and Access GSO will operate on a delay. Routes will start at noon today. The city says operations are still subject to being delayed again. High Point Transit, on the other hand, will not be running at all today. We did just receive an email from the city of Greensboro saying highway night shift crews have made significant progress salting Priority 1 and Priority 2 roads, which, Taylor, is a good thing. You saw those snowplows firsthand, and now you've made your way to the fun aspect of this snow, live in Fisher Park.
Well, Good morning, Megan. Well, we talked about all morning the bad things that the snow is doing for the roads, but let's talk about the good things that it's doing for families here in the Triad. So take a look at my shoulder here. A lot of people are out here in Fisher Park taking a part of fun in the snow. They got their sleds. The kids have been going up and down the hill that we've been here about 10, 15 minutes or so, and they have just not stopped having fun with these sleds and this snow here. And I actually looked up online. So the best snow for sledding is dry and fluffy, which is what we have here. It allows the sled to glide and have minimal friction, which is why these kids are so easy to able to go down this hill right here. Look at that girl right there. She is having fun. And sleds can go fast now. They can get up to like 19 miles per hour. So you definitely want to take it slow if you are sledding out there today. I also want to say all you need is 2 to 4 inches of snow to also sled. That's also a good conditions that we have right here. Again, families are taking part in this snow while we have it, and the sun feels nice. It's out. It's actually not too cold right now. But again, road conditions are still bad, you guys. So if you don't have to be on the roads, don't do it. Go in your neighborhood, sled, grab you a sled, maybe grab you a pull tube like that girl there and, sled in the snow. For now, live in Greensboro, I'm Taylor Leverett, WFMY News 2.
Oh, that looks like so much fun. But we mentioned the slick road conditions. This was the scene in Forsyth County just a little bit ago. You're looking at Highway 74 at University Parkway. Some vehicles were out taking it slowly. But this is just an example of how even roads that were plowed last night refroze, and now the ice is the issue, especially with these temperatures still below freezing. Crews are working around the clock and making progress as we speak. Let's get to Itanese McMiller live in Winston-Salem. Itanese, it looks like where you are, there are clearing conditions.
Yeah, it looks pretty good out here, Megan. We're standing on the overpass near Salem Parkway. I want to give you a view of what 421 looks like. Not many vehicles on the road, which is great news. I'm going to echo what Taylor said. Don't get out here if you don't have to. Go find a hill to sled on. But to go more in detail about what the roads look like, you can see there's one lane that has been plowed, but other than that, the highway looks pretty good. But you want to be careful with these on and off ramps. You can see that those look like they haven't been touched since maybe last night or overnight sometime. I want to talk a little bit about the commute from Greensboro to Winston-Salem. City roads in Greensboro, not the best. They could use some work, but once we got onto I-40, completely clear, no snow on the road. So I-40 looks pretty good. And once we made it to Kernersville, a little bit of a different story. One lane was clear, snow still on the ground. So if you're in the Kernersville area, you want to certainly stay in if you can. If you have to get out, you want to be cautious. We did see people on the roadways who were doing just that. They had their hazards on, taking it very slow. I did talk to NCDOT last night, and they talked about how these highways are their main priority. So secondary roads, neighborhood roads are probably in much worse condition. We're going to drive around the city a little bit to see what city roadways look like and some of these neighborhood roadways look like as well. But we do know NCDOT is out here doing their best. They have an additional 170 contract crew members out here tackling these roadways. For now, live in Winston-Salem, Itanese McMiller, WFMY News 2.
Yeah, and the big cities, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Burlington, High Point, they all have these interactive snow maps on their websites where you can look up your address and see if you're in a priority area or what the next closest road to you is that will be plowed first. Because keep in mind, the interstates are going to be first, and then these heavily traveled secondary routes, like in Greensboro, for example, you have Bryant Boulevard, Wendover Avenue, Battleground Avenue, New Garden Road. All of those will take precedence before the neighborhood streets get touched.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, in your report earlier, when we were on the Good Morning Show earlier, it was 24 degrees out at PTI. You said temperatures are just below freezing, but it's already up to 31 at PTI. That's a pretty nice jump, and it's all about the sun that we've had, and it is really starting to help things out.
And you can even see, even though it's below freezing, as the sun hits, especially cars, you can notice it. You can just see the water sort of running off.
Well, and we saw that with our camera over in Winston-Salem. It was iced over, and now it's clear. There you go.
I talked to my husband when FaceTiming the kids a little bit ago, and he was rushing to get them back outside before this snow melts. He said, who knows how long it's going to be before we have another sledding snow.
Yeah.
Who knows? It took almost 3 years this time.
Hopefully it won't take that long next time.
Yeah, neither of my girls had seen snow until we had that dusting, and Christian was a baby when we had a big one. So it's welcome news for a lot of folks, thankfully on a Saturday. So there are not too many issues with travel, but we heard of more than 300 wrecks. Highway Patrol has been reporting across the state since last night, 40 cars in ditches over these last 18 hours or so in Rockingham County. So there are still hazardous conditions.
Take it safe. Park it inside today, at least for the next little while. Again, major roadways fine this afternoon. Still slick spots carrying over into early tomorrow, though.
All right, we'll see you back here in an hour for another digital update on WFMY Plus. You can find the latest all the time tracking us on WFMYnews2.com or our free WFMY app.